You can't put all your money in one position and then expect, you know, success everywhere else. So
Greetings and salutations, and welcome to the Odd Coaches Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Keith Adams, and with me today, even though I have chaperone voice, is my tag team partner, the superstar Billy Graham to my Pat Patterson in the 70s, the icon, the showstopper, the main event, and the reason why we are here, Coach Mike Francis. And Coach, we lost the superstar this week.
yes.
20 years too soon. I lift barbell plates. I eat T-bone steaks. What you see is what you get. And what you ain't seen is even better yet. There's so many from the superstar. Anyway, how you doing this Top Shelf Tuesday, sir?
I'm doing well, sir. I'm doing well. Thank you.
Oh, my goodness, man. I'm delectable like double chocolate cake. Anyway, on this Top Shelf Tuesday edition, we're going to do some off-season quarterback talk. We're going to ask my partner for some early team win total predictions, talk about some off-season news and notes, and then end today with a tribute to possibly, in my opinion, the greatest football player ever, and it starts at 2, the late, great Jim Brown. But, Coach, I tell you all the time, and you tell me I'm wrong, and I'm okay with that. Quarterback is overvalued and it's overrated, and people gut their whole, salary caps for this one position. So I kind of wanted to take a little look into some of the teams and how they're preparing for their quarterback rooms. And I wanted to start and get your thoughts on Cincinnati. So Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow, compliment to him. He is remaining tight-lipped about his ongoing contract negotiations and allowing all of these other teams to set the market for him. Hey, that's what an agent would do for you. But anyway, he did clarify a few points, and this is what I want to get with you. You know he's going to get some money. He's going to get a lot of money. But he also wants to make sure that wide receivers T. Higgins and Jamar Chase are kind of taken care of because they're around the same draft class. And all of this money is unique and interesting. What do you think about Burrow's approach of strongly hinting to the team that I like these two guys and I need them with me as he quietly does his negotiations? Any thoughts, sir?
I mean, only the winners do that. The real winners, like they put winning over money. For instance, Troy Aikman restructured his contract every year during the Super Bowls. Michael Jordan took the 1-year deal so they could pay other people, and they didn't count too heavily against the cap. You got Aaron Rodgers, who just quietly demanded, or warmly suggested that they bring those wide receivers in that they did, and they got money, and it looks like they may even get a couple more. But I think it's smart if you want to win. Like, you can't put all your money in one position and then expect, success everywhere else. So Michael Irvin went into Jerry Jones' office after that second game, 0-3, 0-2, 0-3, without Emmitt Smith, and said, "All right, damn it, this is over. The experiment is over. Like, give him what he wants."
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
So, like, anybody who want to win, they know what it takes to win, and you got to get guys around you that is going to be. So you'll take a cut. So if the difference between, I always say $5 million is a difference between winning a Super Bowl, then I'll do it. Like, that's the cost. Like, pay me 15 without these guys, or pay me 10 so you can get those guys. Like, pay me 10 and give me those guys who are going to make me look easier or make my job easier.
All right. So now we're going to look at a different approach. And, this is probably the approach I would take as an owner. Pittsburgh. The Pittsburgh Steelers officially announced a new 3-year contract for backup Mitch Trubisky. Mitch Trubisky, the 2017 second overall pick, is under contract through 2025. Trubisky will make $8 million guaranteed. With the deal, the Steelers now have Kenny Pickett under his rookie deal, Trubisky as his backup, and then they also re-signed Mason Rudolph. So their quarterback room quietly is going to be the same quarterback room for the next few years. Any thoughts to how Pittsburgh did business?
That's the way Pittsburgh always does business. Like, it's not new. Like, Pittsburgh does it, except for Roethlisberger, because they paid him out to Yahoo. But they're securing their room, and between the three of them guys will be there. It looks like at least 2 to 3 years, and that's very rare to have 3 quarterbacks for 3 straight years. Unless somebody's really, really taking a serious pay cut. But it looks like it works for them, and I think those 3 guys work well together. Let's put it that way. I don't think there's animosity or anything built up, or I got to be the starter, because you can pay me $8 million to be the backup.
Yeah, and remember, Mason Rudolph was unrestricted. They said, go on out there. And then he saw what was out there. Nobody called me.
He peeked out that window.
I'm good.
Is that? I'm all right. I'm going to stay here.
I'm good. Yeah, I'm staying. Yeah, I thought so. Now we want to talk about San Francisco 49ers. Hey, Fowler, we're going to talk about your team. Trey Lance, according to reports, has looked really good this offseason. He worked out with a private quarterback coach, Jeff Christensen, who's worked out with Trey Lance and Patrick Mahomes, and he drastically adjusted his throwing motion, and now the ball's coming out quicker. And Lance could still open up as quarterback because Brock Purdy is coming off a serious elbow injury, and Jimmy Garoppolo got traded. So Mike, one, he's working out with the quarterback coach, changed his delivery. How do you feel about that if you're San Francisco?
It's a dumpster fire out there with the way they've been doing this quarterback situation. I don't know how many they had over the last 5 years, but it's been crazy. And it just doesn't make sense to me. I want to see how they change this man's delivery. Okay. Yeah, I want to see how he did that in the spring. I want to see that. I want to see. Show me the before and after. Show me the benefit. Like, I know the benefit, but just show me the before and after, and show me under fire that he doesn't revert back to the old way. Like, that's the major thing I need to see.
When they had his feet.
And was it his throwing angles that not get him to start in position, or what? What was it?
Okay. All right. And finally for this segment, I like this guy, Mike, Matt Ryan. Now, Matt Ryan's time in the NFL may be over for now, but maybe it isn't. The former quarterback is not eliminating the possibility of returning. This offseason, he joined CBS Sports as an NFL analyst. And when a player makes that move, it kind of means they're done. But he said, I'll still listen to phone calls or whatever. But he's not working at CBS for free. When you start to sit in that booth, when you start to make that money and not get hit, it kind of changes your outlook. Any thoughts about, is Matt Ryan done? Do you think somebody's going to give him a call this year with the anticipated injuries that happen during football?
He's the next Tony Romo. That's what it is. He'll be a good broadcaster. Like, he will. As far as a quarterback, never really accomplished, never really impressed. Like, I don't.
Got a lot of yards. Got a lot of yards.
Mm-hmm.
But all you're going to see is 28-3. You're gonna that's never leaving. I can look at his little resume at the bottom, and it's going to say former MVP. It's going to say that at the bottom of his little TV resume.
That don't give you a ring. I'm sorry. I'm about winning. We keep score to make sure who wins or lost. We don't say likes and favorites. We say wins and losses.
Ding. All right, so fans, when we get back on the Odd Coaches podcast, we're just slowly dipping our water into the strictly for entertainment pool. Kind of want to get my partner's initial thoughts on these initial Vegas over and unders for team win totals. We'll be right back on the Odd Coaches podcast.
The high school and college academic and athletic landscape is changing, The growing number of college transfers, as well as student athletes being able to profit off the use of their name, image, and likeness, has given student athletes the freedom and power to make life-changing decisions. That is why it is important for student athletes to be properly informed throughout the decision-making process. The difference between success and failure is often measured not by yards, but by inches, and even the most successful coaches and players use outside independent consultants to help improve their decision-making, which improves their results. That is what the CKA Save Project would like to do for student athletes across the country, improve their academic and athletic results. Our academic and athletic consulting services assist student athletes with the college decision-making process. The CKA team of former high school and college coaches can provide student athletes an independent assessment of their academic and athletic skills to assist student athletes in their college decision-making process. Let the CKA team evaluate your academic and athletic ability to assist you in finding the right fit for your academic and athletic career. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free virtual consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back to the Odd Coaches Podcast in segment 2. This is way early. No training camp. More roster changes are coming. Injuries, it's the NFL, but I kind of want to get my partner's initial thoughts, strictly for entertainment purposes only, on the over and under initial thoughts from Vegas. So, Mike, you're just going to simply say over, under, push or pass, baby, as we take these first looks. Going in alphabetical order, fans, if you're taking notes at home, because I am. Mike, Arizona, 5.5. What do you think?
Over.
Oh, over? Okay. All right. Atlanta, 8.
It's the NFC West. Like, I mean, come on, bro.
All right. Atlanta, 8 win.
Under.
Okay. Baltimore, 9.5.
Over.
Buffalo, 10.5.
Ooh. Pass.
Pass. That is fine. That is fine for us. Carolina, 7.5.
Under.
All right. Bears, 7.5. People are hot on the Bears.
Under.
Bengals, 11.5.
Under for sure. Ain't no way they're gonna win 11 games.
Browns, 8.5, and they got a full, healthy season of Deshaun Watson.
I'll come back to that one.
Okay.
Because I don't.
It's okay to pass. That's fine. Because I'm passing on the Browns.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Dallas, 9.5.
Over with 0 playoff victories.
All right. Denver, 8.5.
Under.
Detroit, they're excited, 9.5.
Under.
Wow. Okay. Green Bay, 7.5.
Under.
Houston, 5.5.
Over.
Colts, 6.5.
Ooh, that's cold-blooded. That is cold-blooded.
They better not put that boy in there.
I'm a pass.
Okay. Jacksonville, 10, including 2 games overseas.
Under. Double under. Can I get double under on that?
Hey, look, 10. Man. Kansas City, 11.5.
Push?
All right. Well, you can't push 11.5.
Well, yeah.
The 0.5. You can pass on them.
Yeah, I'll say over.
Okay. Raiders, 7.5.
Under.
Rams, 7.5.
Who quarterbacking again?
Dude came back. Stafford's back. He already got his ring and he already got his money.
Over.
Okay. Chargers. Man, I'm tired of talking about this kid. He ain't done nothing. 9.5.
Definitely under.
Herbert's supposed to be his year. He's the next one up for the big contract. Okay. Miami, 9.5.
You just remind me, I gotta go to the barbershop. That man owe me money. I picked them. This was 9.5 last year. They didn't get it. I picked under. So I gotta go to the shop. But
Okay.
I'll take under again this year for them.
For the Miami Dolphins.
Yes, sir. For the Miami
right.
Dolphins, just like last year,
All
it will
right.
be under.
Okay. Kirk Cousins and the Vikings, 8.5.
Over for Kirk Cousins. Again, another regular season, like that's the NFL version of the Sacramento Kings and all them. That's what that is.
New England, 7.5. Disrespectful.
Under. Very disrespectful though. Very.
The Saints, 9.5.
Who in the hell did that? That's under for sure.
I was telling Mike between segments, fans, I might raise my bets to 15 this coming season. I might have to put 15 on that one. Giants, 8.5.
Over.
Okay. Jets, 9.5. That's a tough schedule.
Over.
Eagles, 10.5. That's a tough schedule.
Over.
Steelers, 8.5. Tomlin doesn't have losing seasons, baby. Tomlin doesn't lose.
He did last year.
Yeah, but he covered.
I'll come back to that one.
49ers,
Under.
11 and
Under. Come on, yo, stop it.
Fans, it's 49ers, 11.5. Now he can say, hey, let me get it out.
Let you get it out. I want to hear it.
Seattle, 8.5.
Geno still quarterback?
Geno is still quarterbacking. You think he's going to do that twice?
No.
Keep rolling on that.
No, hey. I love you, Geno. You cool and all, but you ain't that cool.
Hey, you signed your check, keep the money, and just keep coming to work, man. Mm-hmm. All right, Tampa Bay, 6.5.
That's disrespectful. That's worse than the Colts. Come on, man.
Over under.
Under, and homeboy got to find a new job.
I'm going to say pass.
Say pass. You're gonna say pass. You passing on. Hey, look, man. I'm gonna make 2 bets. I'm gonna make a $20 bet for all those under 7, and then I'm gonna make a $25 bet for those over 7.
I'm just rooting for that guy. All right, Todd.
You rooting for who?
Rent don't own, baby.
Todd, you rooting for Todd?
Yes, man. They took everything from him.
That's what I'm saying.
He's
So
like
you can't
Will Smith at the end of Fresh Prince, just in the living room looking around, man.
That's the end of
I got nothing. I'm sorry. Tennessee, 7.5.
All he left was the rug.
No, that's my fault, fans. I took it too far. All right, Tennessee, 7.5 for Tennessee.
Habitual line jumper. Stop, man. All right, man. All right. Okay. All right.
Tennessee, 7.5.
Straight. Under. All right.
Under. And then the Washington Commanders, 6.5.
Over. They'll get 7 wins. They'll definitely get 7.
Okay.
If they'll do nothing else, they'll get 7.
All right. Fans, that was quite entertaining. In segment 3, we're going to do some off-season news and notes. My partner gets to talk about his Cowboys a little bit. And then we'll
do I have to?
give a tribute to the legendary Jim Brown. We'll be right back on the Young Coaches Podcast.
Why should student athletes use the CKA Save Project academic and athletic consulting services? Over the past 15 to 20 years, colleges, universities, professional sports teams, business organizations, and others have increased their use of consulting services to improve their decision-making processes and results. Over the same time, the athletic and academic landscape has changed for high school and college student athletes as the NCAA has raised initial academic eligibility requirements for student athletes while decreasing the number of transfer restrictions. Former college student athletes have noted that they were academic and athletically unprepared for the rigors of college. Let the CKA SAVE Project's close to 30 years of academic and athletic experience help guide student athletes to increase success as we work to help student athletes achieve the goal of obtaining a college degree. For more information, contact Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back to the Odd Coaches Podcast, and in segment 3, we're going to talk about proactive and reactive moves. Mike, I had an ex-girlfriend used to say, "Are you being proactive or reactive?" And every time I hear that phrase, I think about that. So the Dallas Cowboys, I want you to tell me if they're being proactive or reactive. The Cowboys got some salary cap issue. You know that. You're a fan. Dakota Prescott's got a lot of money coming to him. CeeDee Lamb, Trayvon Diggs, and Micah Parsons all got stuff coming to them. That's a lot of money. Diggs was named to the Pro Bowl last 2 years and is set to become an unrestricted free agent after this season. Cowboys got a $17.9 million tender on Lamb. Prescott is signed through 2024 as well. And while Cowboys can't approach Parsons yet, it's going to happen. So what are you thinking about these moves?
I don't know why we're worried about certain things right now. Like, no, I understand it's the off season and then moves things. Sometimes they do things just to keep themselves relevant, make announcements, and do things to have the Cowboys name. They're pushing the brand all the time, and I understand that. But I just don't see why we're looking. I don't
So
see
you
why
want to
we're
play the
looking
year out and then see how we win, lose?
every time.
Okay.
Every time, like I told, excuse me, said it earlier. Like we don't do this for favorites and likes. We do this for wins or losses. Like I don't want to hear about none of this. Yeah, okay, it's a lot of Pro Bowlers who didn't even make the playoffs. Let's be honest. I'm not in it for the individual awards, and if you're not helping me win, then you're helping me lose because nothing stays the same. Everything is changing.
All right. So now I want to talk to you about the Coach Accelerator Program. Leslie Frazier will be among the 40 participants in the NFL Coach Accelerator Program held at this year's spring meetings coming up in Minneapolis this coming week. The NFL announced the coaches who will be participating in the program, and the program's aim is to, quote, increase exposure between owners, executives, and diverse coaching talent, providing ample opportunity to develop and build upon their relationships. This accelerator program follows the inaugural Coach and Front Office Accelerator Program and the Front Office Accelerator Program hosted at previous league meetings. And if you remember, Frazier took a step back from his roles as the Buffalo Bills defensive coordinator, in part because he wants to return to coaching and not retire, but a lot of the opportunities wasn't there. So this is an opportunity to meet, greet, shake hands, kiss babies, all of those things. So what do you think about that, sir? Is this good or bad for the NFL that's what they need to try to diversify their pool?
I think Coaches Accelerator Program, in other words, CAP, is just that, CAP. Like it's just something else they putting out there. Like it's all about image right now. It's about image. They want to look like they're in favor of. At the end of the day, owners are going to be owners. Like they decide who they hire. So the NFL can put on these shows and invest money in this. Each one of these, each team donated, $50,000, $100,000 to develop the program, and and it looks good. It's just commercial. They're buying commercials.
Yeah, but you still have to go and applaud Leslie for again showing up, doing the work. So we're going to keep an eye on that.
And who worked on the Art Rooney Rule?
Yeah.
Just checking. I don't know. See, how's that working?
It is a challenge.
How's that working for you?
It's working to the point where you got to continue to create programs and opportunities because it's not.
Exactly.
All right, not so fast, my friends. NFL owners will not vote on the Washington Commander sale during the league meetings next week or this coming week. Dan and Tanya Snyder reached a purchase and sale agreement to Josh Harris and his plethora of owners. But here's the deal, Mike. The league's going to approve it because they hate Snyder and they're trying to get him out. But I think this is going to be the last guy who's not cash in hand rich that's going to get a team, because we're talking $6 billion and they don't have it right now. It looks like they have it, but it's not like one person like the Walton family that can say, here's X amount of percent in cash. So any thoughts? This is your first opportunity to kind of talk about the sale. You've got a bunch of folks in your peanut gallery. I'm sure they're dancing the jig. But what do you think about the sale and that process in terms of getting the Commanders into a new ownership situation?
From what I'm hearing, I don't understand how he don't have the money. He's 5.9 billion. He's worth 5.9 billion. How does he not have the money necessary or can't get it together?
Well, some of the owners have expressed concern over the structure of the bid.
No,
the source said Harris Group has a net worth of approximately $100 billion. The sale will be the largest in sports history, but it's going to just be delayed, not denied, because they are getting rid of that guy.
That's the issue. If the man got $100 billion, why were you talking over 6?
All right.
It ain't. It's because of who else he has in the group. That's what the hell is. They ain't got nothing else. Let's be honest. Let's call a spade, unfortunately, and pun intended. That's why they're doing it. No other reason. That's why they're doing it. That's why they're holding this thing up.
All right. So it's about, in your opinion, who's with the group.
Yeah.
But there is a signed document that was submitted to the NFL, the league's finance committee. Irvin Magic Johnson, who has the same birthday I do.
And Irvin don't look nothing like any other owner in the NFL.
The Harris Group has at least 12 limited partners. And there is a concern about the structure of the bid. So
there ain't no structure.
All right. So finally, I'm saddened by this, but he lived a very long life. Jim Brown, one of the greatest football players, one of the greatest lacrosse players. He has died at 87. In 2020, Brown was selected to the NFL 100 all-time team. He was also ranked the #1 all-time college football player. So Mike, let me first give you the numbers. Let's just get to that so younger fans can understand why somebody my age is just paused by this. Brown, who was selected in the first round of the 1957 draft, played 9 seasons for the Cleveland Browns and led the league in rushing for 8 years. So 8 out of 9 years, he led the league in rushing. In 9 years, he rushed for 12,312 yards and averaged 5.2 yards per carry over his career and averaged 100 yards per game over his career. He was named a Pro Bowler every year he played. Now, this is the pre-Super Bowl era, so he led the Browns to the league championship game 3 times, winning the title in '64, and he was named MVP 3 times. He rushed for more than 1,000 yards in 7 seasons, including 1,500 yards in 12 games and 1,800 yards in 14 games. He retired at 30. And here's the story real quick for those who don't know. He was filming The Dirty Dozen, and filming ran long, and Art Modell, yes, that same Art Modell, threatened to suspend him. And he said, I'm out. That's it. There you go. And he never came back. In addition, he played multiple sports. He played 4 sports, Mike: football, lacrosse, basketball, and track during his college career at Syracuse. So young athletes, you don't have to specialize. Okay? He also led the nation in kickoff return average, which was one of those random stats that I'm like, Get out of here. And then the boldness. In June 1967, Brown organized the Cleveland Summit, where you've seen pictures, and it was a meeting of the nation's top Black athletes, including Bill Russell and Lou Alcindor, who became Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, to support Muhammad Ali's fight against serving in the Vietnam War. In later years, he worked to curb gang violence in Los Angeles, founding America I Can. He was an advocate for the modern athlete. He also had some challenges, and we don't shy away from that. He was arrested half a dozen times and had some issues with some women, but his legacy is unmatched, and it's about empowerment and self-advocacy. So, Mike, any thoughts on Jim Brown as we celebrate all the work that he's done?
One of the pioneers, I think he's disliked more for being vocal and standing out and standing up against, oppression or whatever it may be that you called it in the NFL at that time. I know it just wasn't somebody who just stood by and let whatever happened happen. And I think he kind of, as you say, he organized with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Muhammad Ali, and everyone else that was a part of that to stand up and try to move forward the notoriety and the acceptance of the Black athlete. I think that as an equal person when it comes to sports, and I think he did a pretty decent job of that. It's off the field incidents like that's. We don't talk about other people who do that. I don't think so as much. No one says nothing about Ben Roethlisberger, and I'm not accusing it. I'm not excusing it, and I'm not saying he didn't do what they accused him of doing. That's not what I'm hearing, and I'm not saying it's right. But I mean, I'm just saying like the reason he stood up was for equality. So he wanted to be treated the same as others, and we should not forget that.
Yes. And on my end, to close, fans, my life as a player, my life as a coach, and the work of CKA Save Project centers around self-determination. Find the balance, know your worth, and never settle. And that's one of the things Jim Brown would continually say throughout his life. So again, young people, coaches, players, parents, with structure, which are boundaries. Discipline, which is accountability, and high help, you can get the bag, you can get the degree, you can do all of these things, and you can give back. And my tag team partner is just one of the giving this back folks. So just like Jim Brown would say, don't forget the community that you came in. And I think that's going to be his legacy. So on behalf of my tag team partner, Coach Mike Francis, I'm Dr. Keith Adams saying thank you for listening and or watching the iCoaches podcast. We'll see you on the sidelines. Till next time, take care.
The iCoaches podcast is sponsored by the CKA Save Project. The CKA Save Project is an industry leader in providing student-athlete academic and athletic support. From assessing student-athletes' academic and athletic skills, to measuring and monitoring student-athlete academic progress, to improving student-athlete time management and organizational skills, the CKA Save Project provides wraparound services for student-athletes from middle school through college. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by emailing cka@ckasaveproject.org. We hope you enjoyed today's show. The iCoaches podcast drops new episodes every Tuesday through Friday on most weeks. Make sure you subscribe to the iCoaches podcast on Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Spotify, and YouTube. Follow the iCoaches podcast on Twitter and Instagram at iCoaches. Follow Dr. Adams on Twitter and Instagram at CKA Save Project. In addition, follow Coach Mike Francis on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Franchise, spelled Coach FRANCHIZE. For more information about the CKA Save Project, please visit them on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org. See you next time on the iCoaches podcast.